Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Excuse me. Okay, let's take a look at things. I was just 14 just seconds ago, and I dropped down to 13.5. We have a new icon here. This little icon bottle with the little red tells me that I don't have too much insulin left. So after I do this video, I will have to do a change. Down to 13.5, so I've been going up all day. I started the day off being low, and now I'm high, so who knows what's going on. Time and range. One thing I did forget is this here represents that I have to change. Did I say that? I don't know. Change my tubing. Okay. 60% time and range, 34% and 6. These two numbers, hey Mike, you've got to work on it. Sorry, had Doritos earlier, I haven't had a chance to wash. 8.8, so my numbers are up because of this. So, look, I just dropped to 6%, but we're still both too high. It's not a great day for my blood sugars. Today, I want to tell you another story. So stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, November 28th, 2021? No, 2020. Mom had passed away in August. So this was all pretty normal day. I got up and I don't remember doing my pump control. I, at this time, was still walking quite a bit. Like, around the house, going out with Nico, I would take him with me. Nico was my service animal, my dog. And I would take him out and come home. And I was also fighting a leg infection. I had a very sore kind of wounds on my legs that were sort of pus filled. I was going to see a care facility to take care of this and get IV. I think I was getting IV antibiotics. I can't really remember. It's not really that important to the story. So we were dealing with that. On this day, I got up. I think I had breakfast, but I was still lying around in bed watching TV. You know, not doing much. I got to the point that I decided I needed a shower. It got, I got undressed to have a shower, and I remember talking to a friend. Now, I still to this day don't remember if I called him or he called me. There was kind of a dispute story in this. So that was fine. And eventually he said, I didn't sound right to him. Now, normally, that means that we are having a little low. I wasn't low. I was thinking back on this. I was sort of pacing back and forth. I was trying to do something, maybe tidy up the place or whatever. He came over and he said, you're not right. Lay down on the bed. I didn't lay down. I wouldn't lay down. They just kept, no, I'm not right. No, I'm fine. I'm not right? Anyway, so he finally got me to lay down. And he said, I'm going to call 911. Well, they called 911. And they came in and they said, well, we'll do a blood sugar on you. So I seem to remember I didn't have the fire trucks, but I did later. So it was weird. Anyway, they did the finger poke and I came back. Hi. Very like what I like to call friendly glucometer, and it would just read high. So, okay. But they were really concerned. Well, we really should take you to the hospital. And I said, no, I'll be fine. And if it wasn't for Peter, who's my power of attorney, I wouldn't have gone. And I probably would have ended up in a lot more trouble because I can remember being in the parking lot and being taken out of the ambulance into the parking lot. And that's it. Until I sort of came through and what do you call it? Kind of a little treatment room. I was the only one in there, and I'd always seen these rooms, and I knew I was in one of these rooms, and I remember going, oh my God, I got placed. It was kind of like, oh well, they must have needed some place to do a treatment, but I wasn't that sick. No, I wasn't that sick. And so they started an IV on me. And oh, I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. They had an IV going on me from the ambulance. I remember that. They started another one. And this one was going to be IV insulin. So they need to get my blood sugar down quite quickly. So, okay, fine. And then I think I don't know what happened. I blacked out again, but I didn't know this was late. That night, or the next morning, I woke up in a hospital room that I had been in before, but things weren't computing up here. I was there, and all I could do was start yelling. I don't know. And it seemed like I was bound to the bed. Could have been, I don't know. There were windows, like it was a corner room, and there were windows on both ends. And I remember looking at this, and looking out. It was night, and finally a nurse came in and said, "Be quiet." I just didn't know where I was. Now, when I'm in this facility now, I know that people don't always know where they are, and I understand where some of the yelling comes from. I was delirious because I would have looked up and said, "Oh, I'm in the hospital room," but I just didn't know at the time. It was a scary scenario. But from that time on, I was fine. I settled down and I knew where I was. It was sort of like if they turned on the lights, I would have been fine. But they didn't. And during my whole time there, until I started to make the turn to come back to reality, I was delirious. They finally got me to a hospital bed up in a ward. This was high acuity. I went back to the hospital ward. I was there for a day or two, and then they shipped me back. Same room again, but I was fine. At this point, my brain was starting to connect. But during my whole treatment, they did a colonoscopy on me, which I swore that two things about that colonoscopy. One was it was done in the nurse's basement. Like, that just really, like, she always brings patients home to do a colonoscopy in her basement. It wasn't the case. Second of all, I thought that the nurses had taken over the ward and they weren't listening to the doctors. That I was certain of that. And three, I was in the back of a pickup truck in someone's living room looking at a TV that took up the whole wall. Like, it was corner to corner of the whole wall. And then things started to make sense. A friend came to visit, and I said, "Where did you come from?" He said, "Just out in the mall." So I really was out of it. Thinking back now, oh, that never happened. So it makes me think that if I get an infection bad enough, is it going to happen again? I hope not. But as I said before, I am so thankful for my power of attorney sending me my leg infection and the swelling cleared right up while in the hospital, and it was great. Got released at the end of March. This was November. It was a little bit of a long stay, but I was glad to get out of there. Biggest sort of thought that came from this: if you're sick, don't be so damn stubborn. If someone says you need help, maybe listen to them and let them call you help for you. If someone thinks, oh, that I should be calling an ambulance, well, maybe they should. Think about it. My diabetes settled down after. So, once we got the infection under control, I got back into my normal routine. With that, have a great day. We'll talk again tomorrow. Bye now. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me